Welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a Monday. Of course, let's head down to our friends down on the Apple Isle in particular. Of course, being with the Harcourts Kingston Blues, and of course, they had a fantastic win on the weekend. Of course, at Kingborough, of course, they smashed the Suns by 27 goals. And of course, we've got two very special guest joiners right now that tell us a bit about it. Thanks both for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Now, I'll get both of you to introduce yourselves and tell us a bit about, especially, obviously we mentioned about the Suns game, but obviously it was a double-header weekend this past week. So tell us a bit about the two games.
So I'm Nicole Hunt. I'm one of the co-captains for the Kingston Blues. Look, it was a great weekend. Coming away with a couple of wins is always really positive for us, but particularly as we start to edge towards finals. I think what's important for us is that we go into every game and we focus on that individual game in isolation and making sure we set really good team goals and strategies for that particular game and the competition that we have. And then we reset to ensure that we, consider our goals and focus areas going into the next game, which is certainly what we did coming into the doubleheader over the weekend.
You mentioned about, obviously, we mentioned about the Suns game, which you won easily, but you also won easily in Hobart against Chris Warrata. What did the team learn out of the two, double-digit wins?
Yeah, I guess whilst the scoreboard might represent a big margin, neither of the games were easy. They were incredibly challenging. They're incredibly competitive as well against the teams. And the Crips game, firstly on Thursday night, they provide incredible defensive pressure through the entire court, particularly in the circle. So that's something that we're always really mindful of, and ensuring that we're focusing on good attacking execution, and our conversion of our centre passes to shot is always a big focus for us. Very similar going into the Suns game as well. The Suns team, again, are really competitive and hard at the ball. So making sure that we run our structures and apply really good hands over pressure through the entire court, and particularly on their goalies has been a big focus. So in terms of learnings for us, there's a couple of key ones there. We've got such an incredible versatile team. We were able to use some of that versatility in both of the games, particularly in Suns, and that just really encourages us as we move into the final round of the season to make sure we rely on some of that versatility and the strengths across all of the players within the team.
And for me, I think as the coach, especially the last two games that we had, as Babs said, very physical. So for us on the sideline, for me, it was getting them through the game without any injuries. Especially in the Suns game, it can be very physical all the way down the court, and just to have them come off all healthy and injury-free at this stage, and knowing where we're sitting on the ladder, is for me a really important thing. So be able to have that, as we said, also the versatility, and to use the players where we needed to in different positions to get through the game was it was one of our, as the coaches, one of our goals and our priorities.
Another quick turnaround. Getting cruel with these draws down there. Of course, you got another quick turnaround because you got a Friday night game at Kingborough against Corona Flames. Tell us how's the preparation going to be like. Are you just going to try and kind of return back to some normality, considering it's like a whole bunch of games that you've played in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, they've had 3 games in 8 days. So it's actually training night tonight. We've come to do this, and we've sent the girls down the beach to do a bit of a light recovery, bit of water recovery, and then we'll head back onto the court Thursday night to get ready for Friday.
Well, almost. I think we're definitely just past halfway through the season. You're sitting pretty nicely at the moment in second position. Only the Cavs from the north are just above you on the ladder. Is this where you're hoping to be at this point in the year? I know it's a fair way to go, but obviously you're in a good position in between the two grand finalists from the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy with where we're sitting. I mean, we were up there last year. We made the finals last year. We made the prelim. Cavs obviously knocked us out for that grand final spot. But all year, from the very first time we selected the team this year, we had our first team session together. Our goal as a team was to end up in the top two and end up in that grand final this year. So where we're sitting now and one game clear of Hawks, the premiers for the last 3 years, we're actually thrilled with where we're sitting.
How important is to finish in the top two? Obviously, you get a double chance if you finish in the top two. How important is that considering, where you fared last season?
Yeah, it's incredibly important to us. It's exciting. We don't underestimate where we sit on the ladder. We know that we need to keep chipping away every single game. As they say, anything can happen in finals and anything can happen. So, we'll be looking to hopefully disrupt the final series and ensure that we take it to the grand final, which is one of our overarching goals. We think we've got a lot of depth in the team, and our desire is tenfold, and that's something that we'll certainly be shooting for.
I'm sure for both of you, as captain and coach, that obviously you mentioned about how amazing your team's going. Your 19s is doing equally well as well. They're currently second as well, even though I don't know they're going to catch the Hawks at this point. How important has that been, especially having I'm assuming that team's going to be back to full strength after obviously losing a couple of state players during the national campaign a couple of weeks ago?
Oh, yeah, they are back. They the last 2 games they had their full team back. I think for the 19s, it's their first year in TNL and this whole experience. So for some of them, it's been a bit of an eye-opener, and it's taken the half season basically to settle into how TNL operates and the expectations. We do a lot of work here between the Opens and the 19s. Like, they have a buddy system, which is really important to us, and that whole team culture is really important to us. So we've had a few sessions where, the buddies have worked with their 19s and helped them through any issues that they might have been having. But I think we're coming out the other end of that, and they are really positive, and like us, they've set their goals really high for the season as well, and they can actually see it now, and they can see that they can achieve it. So I think the second half of the year or the season for both our teams is actually really exciting. Looking forward to what's actually going to happen. Obviously, as a coach, both teams, in my mind, are going to be there, which will be exciting for the Kingston club. And I don't know, if any year we're going to do it, I believe it's this year.
Yeah.
We've got the teams to do it. We've got the depth in our teams to do it. So, yeah, I feel it's going to be a pretty positive year at the end.
Now, you might as well tell us a couple of the players that we mentioned just returned back this past week to the team that was part of that Tassie state team.
Who went away? Macca. So Mackenzie Graves was in the 19s. Oh, well, she played 7. She state 17s. And she's actually been playing up with us. We bring her up and give her some court time in Opens as well. She's an absolute gun in the mid-court. One to watch for the future. I think she was our only state player that went away. Yeah, we only had one this year.
And I guess, has she brought anything back from her state commitments to, improve more on that you didn't try throughout the first half of the year and go into different tactics, different ways of doing things?
I think the biggest thing that I've seen that Mackenzie's brought back is just her leadership that she brings back to the team. She's one of the captains of the 19s Blues team. She plays a really pivotal role in that space, and she brings back a lot of depth and experience around her leadership and that culture that she brings, her absolute grit and determination. She never gives up. She's hard at the ball every single time. She's a learner. She's really curious about the game, and loves to learn and encourage her team members to do the same thing. And that's something that we're really proud of. As Tanya said, she's one to watch because we think Mackenzie will go a long way with her netball career.
Tell us a bit about your recent player of the match, Lucy Street, in her game.
Wow. What do you say about Streety? Oh, gosh, she had it two weeks in a row, actually, player of the match. Streety is just, look, she's a powerhouse. She just works and works and works. She throws herself all over everything, not afraid of any contest. This year, I will say she's a lot more disciplined on the court. If she's watching this, I'm sure she'll understand that one. Really listening to coaches this year, taking on all the feedback. Oh, I don't know. She's just I don't know how to describe her. You could watch her all day. Like our mid-court, and her in particular, there's a really great combination in our mid-court that have just got it together. She knows where each other player is going to be. She knows where to throw that ball. Her feeds into our shooters, which Babs is one of them, so she could talk about that. Last year, she'd give me heart attacks. I'd be having a heart attack on the sideline because she'd take the ball from, the mid-third, and she would just shoot, just feed it straight to Babs, straight in. And I'd be like, give me CPR, freaking out what was going to happen. But she can just pass that ball through the eye of a needle. She is so accurate. Her feeding, I think, is just amazing. I don't know.
Yeah, it's outstanding. I think Lucy can see the things that you don't even know. You don't know are there yourself. She's an incredibly smart netballer. She understands the strategy of the game, but her vision and the way that she creates a play is outstanding. So, and she's having an incredible season, hence the last couple of player of the match, and no doubt she'll rack up a couple more before the season's out.
So for both of you, it's a two-part question. The first part is, where did the love of netball start, and what does it mean now representing the Kingston Blues?
Yeah, I guess the love of netball for me started from a pretty young age through school netball, and then progressing on to play club netball. I love the sport because it's complex. You have to be able to think strategically to understand the game. Particularly as you get into the higher levels. But most importantly, I've been lucky enough to make some of my best friends throughout my time of playing netball, and you just can't put a price on that. So there's nothing quite like team camaraderie, and to do that playing a sport that you love, helps bring the best out of you, is just so rewarding. So hopefully can continue to do that for a little while yet.
Oh, she's not retiring yet then?
Oh, there you go. Exclusive.
We'll
see.
That's good to know. Oh. I was obviously a lot older. Obviously, played netball at school and at club growing up. But my main thing growing up was actually dancing. That was my focus. But into the coaching, I lived in the Northern Territory for a long time and met through netball over there someone that was working in netball NT and doing the state teams. And basically she just inspired me so much. That's where my coaching pathway started, was over there, and then moving back here. And, I coached with dare I say it, the Hawks up north for a little bit. Only been in, I saw that raised eyebrow. Only been down in Hobart for 3 years. So, but yeah, was sort of asked to come to the Blues. I didn't really know much about them at all, to be honest. But I think I know I am, not think. I'm extremely happy with the choice of coming here, and this team, the team of girls over the last couple of years are just like, I don't know, you couldn't ask for a better team. They're just beautiful, so passionate about their netball. It's a real team. Like they do everything together. They support each other. They've always got each other's backs on and off the court, which obviously helps, I think, as we move up the ladder. It definitely helps on game day. But yeah, just a really supportive group of girls. You could not have asked for a better team. And I probably, to be honest with you, I've probably never coached a better team, like with that support anywhere.
What have both you learnt from each other on and off the court as player and coach?
Look, I think the first thing for me with Tan is just her unwavering support for us as a group of girls. She has absolutely always had our back. She goes into bat for us when she needs to. She's, always willing and open to take on our feedback. She has, from her very first time that she met with us as a team, she's always been really focused about putting the right structures in place for our goal setting, our culture, how we operate collectively as a group, as she said, on and off the court. And I know that, sometimes, that kind of just happens because can, happen quite authentically because we're, a close group of girls. But it takes leadership and direction and coaching to ensure that that is maintained and brought into, every action and interaction that we have as a team. And Tanya has led that, which we've really appreciated. And I think, that's absolutely the core strength of her as a coach, and she also lets us be rat bags at times at training when we might not want to play basketball and other things. We might not want to stick to her plan, but she lets us do that because she knows that's important. She brings a really great sense of fun to our team as well, which helps us thrive as athletes. So we love that.
Yeah, I'm sure people will think we're crazy. Crazy when, the other teams around us are doing their proper drills and structures, and these girls are out playing basketball for about, 10, 15 minutes at the start of training. But that's all part of that, the team culture and that bonding and having fun together. Yeah. So,
laughter therapy.
It is, and it's much needed some weeks.
Yeah.
But for Babs here, like she is a leader, and last year, as I said, was my first year here with them, and I really needed her, and she was definitely there for me. The girls all listen to her. She doesn't mind. She's our oldest girl, She's the oldest one in the team. She's like their mum. They listen to her. She's not afraid to come and talk to me, give me feedback whenever, or if the girls need anything, they'll go to her, and then she'll come to me, which I really appreciate. As a player, as a shooter, we call her the queen now. Like, she's just amazing. The ball gets into her hand, she will turn, the ball goes in. Like, a lot of her stats this year, have been up in the 90s, which is fantastic for a shooter. Last year she came away with me for the mixed nationals and we took home the silver medal, so we asked her to come away because that's how good of a player that she is. But as I said, she doesn't just bring the physical performance on the court, it's everything that she leads off the court. So, 2 years now she's been our captain of the team. We wouldn't have anyone else, in that role. She just, brings so much to it. So, like our mum, not mine, obviously, I'm a bit older, but the girls really need her and we really need her.
You mentioned about that, and a moment ago. So, Nicole, you're currently sitting second in the competition at the moment. Obviously, hopefully you can overlap Palea McGoogle, who's about over 100 ahead of you at the moment. Your best season as a shooter, and obviously, and then my second part of the question is, I'm sure you don't have to worry about obviously the last couple of shooting winner, which is Ash Muller, who's now over here in Melbourne.
Yeah, I think my last couple of seasons have been fairly consistent in terms of volume and percentage wise. I'm not sure if I mean, this is the first time I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it's
like
pretty
this one,
consistent.
I think it's better than last one.
Yeah, this one feels a bit better than the last one. Look, I think it would probably be impossible for me to overtake Hayley in volume. So I'm just going to focus on percentage and try and bring my best every week for the girls. It's those 1 or 2 goals, as we know, that can absolutely make the difference at the end of a game. So that's what I'll be focused on. I mean, Ash is an incredible player. She really is. So, we absolutely wish her all the best for her comp over in Victoria. I think the absence of Ash playing this year has really shaken up the competition. It's given the opportunity for the Hawks team to showcase some of their other really talented players. They've obviously, had to work really hard to adjust their gameplay and some of their strategies in the absence of Ash. And it's given the other teams an opportunity to, play a little bit more competitively against the Hawks. There was a lot of movement across the different clubs, which is always exciting. That in itself brings change into the competition. So it's kind of, free game for everyone.
Now we'll finish with a couple of light-hearted questions as well about the team. Firstly, who's the comedian, the best singer and the best dancer on the team?
I'd have to say Jess. Jess is the comedian.
I don't know if that's in a funny ha-ha way though, or just some of the things she comes out with and does.
We laugh at Jess.
We laugh.
Yeah. Best dancer.
I reckon the coaches, because we dance before the pre-game speech. You see, so I'd say them, but I don't know. Babs probably knows other stuff.
I reckon. I think Chloe would think that she is the best dancer because she also thinks she's the prettiest in the team
in either league.
Or the league, yeah. So, but I reckon Emily Hanley is a bit of a dark horse on the dance floor.
Ooh.
We'll find that one out at the presentation dinner.
Ooh, okay.
All right.
Do either of you have a pre-game superstition, ritual, or routine as coaches and captains?
I've got a couple of little ones. I do generally listen to some Metallica in my car on the way to my game. Admittedly, it's a little bit old school, but that happens. Do have a typical banana an hour before the game, and I have a particular pair of undershorts that I like to wear. And if I don't have those, it feels like my entire game is out of whack.
Right, we need to make sure you've got those all the time then.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, look, for a coach, for me, it's, making sure that the night before I stay up probably quite late into the early hours of the morning, writing the pre-game speech and working at the focus for the game and reviewing the other games, the last game at the time we played them. So that's a late night into the early hours of the morning. On the way to the game, I like to be here a little bit early, especially if it's a home game, because even though I'm not playing, I actually like to be in the stadium when there's no one else here.
Yeah.
So before even the 19s come in, before anyone's there, like they've set up and it's just me in the stadium by myself. It's just, brings me into the zone a little bit. And I suppose on the way for me listening, I'd be listening to things like Hall of Fame and things like,
yes,
because that's where I think we're going to be this year.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
an inspirational song, that one. Yeah.
Now, we'll finish with this last one. Now, I always ask the teams that I have on the show in Tassie this question. Is there a real rivalry between the North and the South?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Definitely.
Now, I'm assuming you're hoping to bring that grand final that's been up in the north the last couple of years back down south, I'm assuming, so you can at least have a bit of a home court advantage.
Yeah.
That would absolutely be the dream going into the grand final. If we could do that on one of the Hobart courts, that would be amazing.
Yeah, it'd be nice to bring it back south. I'll have a southern team in there, would be awesome this year. Yeah.
Well, let's hope it happens this year. You're beautifully placed at the moment, sitting second at the moment. You're in between the two grand finalists at the moment, but I'm sure the next month or two is going to be a real battle to the end, and hopefully you do get there. And I'll be coming down to Tassie for those finals, so hopefully we'll get to see you and cheers when you obviously into the business end of the season, and I can't wait to see how this team really goes throughout and obviously pass the same thing to your 19s, because obviously they're doing amazingly well as well.
Yeah, definitely hope you get to see two Blues teams in the grand final.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No worries. And of course, if you want to get down there, if you're in Tassie, of course, down at Kingborough is the game against the Flames this Friday night. So we'll put all the details up on how you can go down there and support the Blues this Friday. There's more on the Smash Sport Show right after this. Don't go away here on the 15th year celebration.